The buck stops with the chief executive. Immortal words of John D. Rockefeller. It's so interesting how my father can speak those words, and it's become a brutal truth that I've had to deal with for nearly a year now. All my life I've tried to live exactly the way my parents raised me, but I suppose that isn't enough for some people. I've distanced myself from my father's legacy, from Standard Oil. I've devoted myself to my family and my faith. I've tried to teach my children how to balance money with morality. I only joined Standard Oil in the first place because it was expected of me, and I couldn't stay, not after the Archbold incident. That scandal just exposed so much corruptness in the company, so much mismanagement. It's been 5 years since I resigned, and since that time, even before then, I've done everything I can trying to restore my name, trying to restore my family's reputation. The university, and a year after that the board, and only 2 years ago the foundation, all done because I believe that there's a purpose to our money besides just letting it accumulate. And then of course last April, my entire life, all of it, just eclipsed so thoroughly by that terrible Ludlow incident. I did my duty there. I supported Colorado Fuel and Iron. I supported Bowers and his management tactics. And that earned me much of the blame from the United Miner Workers. Despite so many of these unjust accusations, I have to acknowledge that so much of that violence, especially the deaths of those innocent women and children, could have been prevented by a more moderate, more understanding approach to that strike. It leads back to the simple fact that no matter what I do, no matter how far I remove myself, I will always be the face of Rockefeller companies. Any issue of that magnitude is going to find its way back to me. To Mr. King, William, let me first reiterate what an asset you've been to me through these difficult months. Your assistance has been essential ever since the massacre back in April. I wish to convey a few ideas and intentions of mine to you. Earlier today, I met with Mary Harris Jones, more commonly called Mother Jones, the famous labor organizer. It was an interesting experience. I'm not used to conversing with people that visit prison so frequently, especially not ones as eloquent and passionate as Mrs. Jones. She made quite the impression on me, and when we got on the topic of my testimony to the Commission on Industrial Relations, my conscience got the better of me, and I admitted to minor faults that I gave, trying to paint CF&I conduct in a better light. Since 1910, I've focused the majority of my efforts on distancing myself completely from the tyrannical image that our empire has been known for ever since my father created it. I've made philanthropy my primary business. But Ludlow and other events have convinced me that the restoration of my family's reputation will only be accomplished with a different strategy, one that's more honest and certainly more direct. It's an industrializing nation. More and more attention is being given to the rights of workers, evidenced by the unions, the strikes, and by the government's increased involvement. The strike in Colorado may have ended in December, but the crusade for fairer conditions for workers will never go away. It's time that I became personally involved in the way things are run at CF&I and other companies that I'm still tied to. If you'll agree, I think that we, along with our friend Mr. Lee, should get the process of a new labor contract moving and get the board involved. Once proper preparations are made, I intend to take the advice of Mrs. Jones and visit Colorado personally. It would go a long way towards redeeming ourselves for our failures at Ludlow if we can show that capital and workers can function effectively together if there's patience and efforts on both sides. Yours most sincerely, Junior.